Hello and good evening, everyone. Well, today I'm talking about the sponsor license applications and whether your business is eligible for sponsor license. So, if your business is based in the UK and you're looking forward to sponsor someone from outside the UK to come to the UK and work for you, or if you want to hire any migrant worker within the UK, then obviously you do need a sponsor license in order to sponsor your workers to work for your business. Now, the question comes is that I get to hear quite a lot from a majority of the clients is what are the conditions to apply for a sponsor license and in what circumstances the sponsor license can be granted. Well, number one thing that many people do make a mistake of is that they first try to apply the sponsor license on their own. Because I do accept that if you search across the requirements for the sponsor license and things like that, there is no specific requirement for sponsor license. First of all, there is no specific requirement for how much revenue or profit your business should be earning and how much funds you should have in your bank balance in your business bank account. All the Home Office wants to see is that your business is genuine, it is actively trading in the UK, the job that you are planning to create or what the reason that you need the sponsor license is for not to facilitate someone's entry into the UK or not to favor someone to remain in the UK. The job vacancy should be genuine. The Home Office needs to be convinced that basically you will be complying with your sponsor duties, what the Home Office expects from you as a sponsor license holder, and you will not be abusing the UK immigration law. So these are the general requirements that basically you need to fulfill in order to convince the Home Office that the sponsor license shall be granted. Now, what the mistake that many people do, they think that basically there is no such requirement and therefore they just move on to apply for the application for the sponsor license, and in majority of the cases it results in refusal. The reasons for refusal are because there are certain technicalities that there are legal technicalities that obviously only the lawyers or your legal representatives are trained to do so. A lay person with no legal background or with absolutely the one who has not dealt with such applications in the past, they cannot basically get the decision in your favor. Yeah, if you know what you are doing, if you know what the requirements are, if you know what the Home Office guidance says on that, go ahead, do it yourself, because there are loads of cases which I have seen that individuals have been applying by themselves and the license was granted. But it is worth noting over here that these were the times when the Home Office was not very strict in dealing with such applications. Now the immigration climate has changed throughout the UK, as you know that in the news we hear every day. The government is adopting strict measures and is taking strict enforcement measures against illegals, overstays in the UK, and also a very strict enforcement action against sponsor license holders. The Home Office is reluctant to issue new sponsors to the companies, and basically they are revoking the sponsor licenses of the existing companies as well. So before it results in a refusal, because if it results in a refusal, there is a cooling off period of about 6 months. Before 6 months, then you cannot apply again, and in that situation, you're left in a very difficult situation, and the worker, your employee who is basically relying on you for their visa and for the skilled worker visa, that employee is basically also left with no further option, and subsequently they become an overstay or they have to leave the UK, because if they can't find sponsorship from anywhere else, they don't have any other option. So before you take any step which might result in a refusal and a further cooling off period of 6 months, all you need to do is just seek legal advice, discuss your case with the legal representative, with the person who is authorized and trained to deal with such situations. Because even though there is no such specific or requirement for profit earning, for revenue, for employees or things like that, but there are certain other technicalities that your legal advisor, your legal representative will assess your complete file, will assess your business circumstances, your nature of business, and every documentation that he or she wants to consider, and then advise you accordingly whether your application for sponsor license is strong or whether you should wait. Or your legal representative can even advise you that these are the certain aspects, the certain areas that you need to improve, and then you can later on apply for a sponsor license. The point I'm trying to make clear over here is because if your license results in refusal, firstly, after a 6 months cooling off period, you apply again through the legal representative. At that stage, you are basically making things more complicated for yourself and for your legal representative as well. Because if there is a previous refusal on record, the Home Office is obviously aware of that. The Home Office, on the second application, even though if you have improved significantly what areas they highlighted previously and now you have complied with them, the Home Office might conduct an interview of your level 1 officer, and based on the interview, if the Home Office is just not satisfied, they can exercise discretion and they can again refuse your sponsor license. So one refusal, the initial refusal, can basically, I would say, put a black dot on your file in the Home Office records, and any subsequent applications that you apply, the chances of success are quite low. Check your eligibility with your legal representative. Ask them for the advice whether in these circumstances, based on your current business model, you should be moving ahead with the sponsor license application or no. Because if the sponsor license is granted, that's not the end of story. The Home Office might not give you any cost to sponsor workers. Then you again need to apply for cost allocations, and it's up to the Home Office how many cost allocation they grant you. They might not grant you any cost allocation as well, and therefore, again, having a sponsor license with no cost allocation is of no use. You need a cost, not just a license. You need a cost allocation to sponsor your workers as well. So if you're in a similar situation and you're looking forward to sponsor workers to work for your business in the UK and you want a sponsor license for your business, so just contact us now. Let's have a free eligibility assessment for your business, and we will advise you accordingly the best possible outcome for your business. Thank you very much.